place more magical in New York City than Central Park? For me, that's an easy no. My name is Alejandro, and in today's video, I'm going to break down the 10 best things for you to do during your visit to New York City Central Park. I also hope to bring you some helpful tips, as well as some fun facts you may have not known about this beloved park. So if this is your first time visiting Central Park, welcome. The park is 2.5 miles long, and it's only half a mile wide, so you can cross it relatively easily. The beauty of Central Park is that you could visit it 7 days of the week, and every day would bring you something new. Here are a few helpful tips I like to tell people before they visit Central Park for the first time. Central Park has dedicated off-leash hours between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. to close. This is the perfect time to visit the park if you have a dog, or if you just like seeing dogs running around and enjoying the greenery. Another tip is to grab a map. You'll see a handful of little stands peppered around the park that are staffed with knowledgeable and kind folks that are eager to help you make the most of your visit to the park. And another benefit of picking up a map is that it helps you understand truly how massive the park is, and every little nook and cranny that it has. We often get asked when the best time to visit Central Park is, and I can give you the cliche answer that any time is magical. And while technically that might be true, there are two seasons that stand out, head and toes above the rest: fall and spring. These two seasons have the park bursting with color. I'm talking spring blooms and fall foliage. Not to mention, this is when the temperature is the most moderate, making exploring the park more manageable and being out there for longer hours of time a little bit more bearable. Central Park was created to be an oasis in the concrete jungle, so I really want to encourage you to take it in for all its glory. Take it in, don't rush the experience, it'll be there tomorrow, it'll be here during your next visit. So without further ado, let's dive right into the 10 best things to do in Central Park. Number one on our list of the 10 best things to do in Central Park is to take in the splendor at Bethesda Terrace and Fountain. Bethesda Terrace was one of the first architectural structures to be put into Central Park, and its construction continued throughout the Civil War. Bethesda Terrace is actually one of the most iconic places in Central Park, so you can always expect to find flocks of people here having a photo shoot, whether formal or informal. Under the terrace, you will find 16,000 beautiful tiles that line the ceiling and create a beautiful acoustic space. You'll always be able to find artists singing there and serenading the guests trying to earn a buck. Measuring 26 feet high and 96 feet wide, Bethesda Fountain is one of the largest fountains you can find in New York City. From the terrace and the fountain, you can take in great views of the lake and see the boathouse and people rowing their boats on dates. If you're lucky, you can see great wildlife. There's usually turtles that line the shore, and the other day I actually saw a family of geese and little baby geeslings. Number two on our list is to walk the mall. It's just an elm tree lined strip that also features vendors looking to sell their magnets, paintings, photographs, and other local artwork. Between Bethesda Terrace, the fountain, and the mall, that section that makes up Central Park is one of the most iconic places in the park itself. I guarantee if you've ever seen a rom-com that takes place in New York City, you've seen this spot. In fact, this is one of our favorite things to do with out-of-town guests. Without failure, whenever we bring an out-of-town guest to walk through the mall, the wheels in their brain start turning and they start to feel like they've been there before. It's always fun to see which movie each person brings to the table. Number three is to cross the Bow Bridge. Central Park is home to more than 40 bridges, but by far the most photographed is the romantic Bow Bridge. The bridge gets its name from the shape of the arch, which resembles an archer's bow. However, be warned, expect crowds. You will always find people taking pictures on the bridge, from the bridge, of the bridge, but who can blame them? You get stunning views of Manhattan's skyline, and I'm guilty of taking a few myself. Built in 1862, the bridge spans over 60 feet, connecting both Cherry Hill and the Ramble. Number four is to check out the views at Belvedere Castle. And yes, you heard that right. There is a castle in Central Park, and it's as beautiful as it sounds. In fact, Belvedere Castle gets its name from the Italian word for beautiful view. Completed in 1872, Belvedere Castle sits high atop a hill on a large rock known as Vista Rock, which happens to be the second highest point in the park. And believe me when I tell you, the views are stunning. Personally, I feel like Belvedere Castle doesn't get as much love as some of the other Central Park attractions, so I highly encourage people to check it out while they're here. And while you're in the area, I highly suggest you check out Cleopatra's Needle. It's a legitimate Egyptian obelisk from around 1450 BC that was brought to New York City in 1881. Cleopatra's Needle is the tallest and the oldest man-made structure in Central Park. It's over 3,000 years old. Also worth noting, in 2011, The Egyptian government threatened to take the obelisk back due to neglect, but luckily for us, the Central Park Conservancy was able to raise enough money and restore it properly. And number 5 on our list of the best things to do in Central Park is to check out Strawberry Fields. Strawberry Fields was intended to be a peaceful spot for reflection in honor of John Lennon, who happened to live across the street in the impressive Dakota building. The most prominent feature of Strawberry Fields is the Imagine Mosaic, which is often adorned with flowers and serenaded by local musicians playing some of Lennon's most famous songs. The mosaic was designed by Yoko Ono, Lennon's widow, and was gifted to New York City from the city of Naples. The well-received gift speaks to Lennon's legacy and his impact on the world. Although Strawberry Fields was intended to be peaceful, it's very popular, so expect crowds. But honestly, I feel like the crowds and the musicians add to the experience. I think it's one of the places in Central Park you can't afford to miss. Number 6 on our list is to walk the length of the Reservoir. The decommissioned Reservoir can be found between 86th and 96th Street and spans 10 city blocks. Holding more than 1 billion gallons of water, this was the largest man-made body of water when it was constructed. The 1.5-mile loop around the reservoir is one of the most popular tracks for walking and running for locals, which is why the loop was designed to be used in one direction. The path is extremely popular in the spring, when trees are bursting with color, and New Yorkers are itching to get out for exercise. Number 7 on our list is to rent a boat at the lake. The lake in Central Park is as romantic as you can imagine. Rent a rowboat and serenade your special someone amid spring blooms or fall foliage, all while admiring the dramatic New York City skyline. The lake is a man-made body of water that covers 20 acres and marks the very heart of Central Park. Thankfully, there's ample shoreline and plenty of vistas for folks to take in the views if you're not a fan of water. For the more adventurous crowd, I highly encourage you to rent a rowboat. It's one of those when in Rome situations, and you're truly missing out on the full experience unless you do so. There's 100 boats available for rent at the boathouse, and at $20 per hour, they're actually reasonably priced. Make sure to plan ahead if you are thinking about renting a boat because it is cash only. The views from the lake are great, but taking them in from the rowboat, it adds a whole different perspective that you wouldn't have had otherwise. Number 8 is to hike the Ramble. The Ramble was designed to feel like the Adirondacks in northern New York to help locals escape the hustle and bustle of the city. And it's true. Between the fragrance and the muffled sounds, it's easy to forget that you're anywhere near New York City. The 36-acre woodland area offers plenty of meandering paths, rock formations, rustic bridges, and peaceful streams, and also offers plenty of places to sit in the shade. Explore around and see if you can find the Azalea Pond or the Ramble Stone Arch. Also worth mentioning, with over 210 bird species spotted in the area, the Ramble is the absolute best spot for birding in Central Park, especially during migrating season. Number 9 is to stroll the Conservatory Garden. Opened in 1937, the Conservatory Garden is the only formal garden in Central Park. Spanning 6 acres, the garden is sectioned off into 3 beautiful gardens: the French North, the Italian Center, and the English South. There are 2 ways to get into the Conservatory Garden. You can either walk through Central Park or take the subway to the nearest station. And I'll also let you in on a little secret. Since the Conservatory Garden is located in the northern corner of Central Park, it doesn't get as many visitors as other parts of the park, which is a pity for others, but not for you. Thanks to the lack of crowds, you can actually find reprieve and peaceful contemplation in the most picturesque setting. Lastly, number 10 on our list is to have a picnic at Sheep Meadow. Having a picnic at Sheep Meadow is one of the most popular things to do in Central Park. In fact, during the summer months, this 15-acre green space swells with tourists and locals alike to the tune of 30,000 people. It's truly a sight to behold, but it's not hard to see why the Central Park activity is so loved. Tucked under the shadow of New York City's impressive skyline, you will find ample trees that provide shade if you're ever looking for a relaxing afternoon. But if action is more your speed, the entire meadow is at your feet. You'll find folks tossing frisbees, kids running around while laughing uncontrollably, and folks kicking soccer balls around. Whatever it is you're after, Sheep Meadow has you covered. It's one of our favorite ways to spend a sunny weekend afternoon. We just grab our picnic basket, stop by Zabar's for a few snacks, and park ourselves under a tree with a nice book. A picnic at Sheep Meadow could easily double as a date night. The best part is, it's as inexpensive as you want to make it. My wife and I both work from home, so we like to use this as an opportunity to clean out our fridge and get out of the house. Whether you're heading there for a picnic or just looking for a place to rest your feet, Sheep Meadow is a part of Central Park that you can't afford to miss. And well folks, that wraps up our list of the 10 best things to do in Central Park. If 10 items wasn't enough for you and you're an overachiever, I'm going to include 5 more things that you can do during your visit to Central Park. At the end of the day, this is just our experience and our opinion. If you feel like we missed something, feel free to leave it in the comments below. Make sure to like this video and subscribe. Leave comments below in terms of what content you want to see in the future. The whole reason New York Simply was created is because we love this city and we want to share that with you. We aim to be your friends in the city and provide resources that you can use for visits or for locals. We will also link a website down below that can serve as a resource for your next visit to New York City or as a way to connect with other New Yorkers. We really hope you enjoy your time in Central Park, and I just want to remind you guys to not rush the experience. It's not going anywhere. It'll be there tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.